Welcome to Yildiz Readings 5D, a hub in which we cover your zodiacs, astrology, twin flame path, moon energy, and more. Should you need a booking, you can go to the link below. And for all information relating to our psychic tarot extension, the information is in the box below. Without further ado, let's take a look at what I see coming through for your zodiac sign. Were we wrapping up 2022? More than likely. We did have Mars, the planet of war, obsession, passion, sitting in the house of Gemini from August last year, where it did then ingress into the house of Cancer, which it is deemed in as detriment, but many of us are super excited at the fact that we get a break of that. Separately, we had Saturn shifting into the house of Pisces, which occurred on the 7th of March, 2023. It will remain there in the house until 2025. Separately, our big Pluto ingress into the house of Aquarius did occur last month. This also is going to be a huge subject coming in the collective due to the fact it's going to shift between Capricorn and Aquarius, wrapping up its karmic cycle. It can feel a little bit testing, especially now because it was at the 29-degree point, shifting into 0 degrees of Aquarius. We're still trying to get our footings and getting the PDF of what subjects are going to be really looked at with great detail and really cast out because they're simply not working. Let's take a look at how this month is going to be shaped for us and what we need to be prepared for. Now, what can April bring? Number one, we do have an eclipse occurring this month. Number two, we do have Mercury moving retrograde. We're going to feel that mid-month. We also have Mars sitting in the house of Cancer. That can bring themes of emotions to the surface, and we do need to try and be patient. And I definitely see some themes really playing out in a sense of new beginnings. And I found it really interesting at the fact that we had a new moon last month and we're having another new moon in Aries in two sets. So I really felt as though we were going to start something brand new, have an inkling of it, but really not get the full, momentum of it happening. And I do feel we're going to have more clues to this, but it really started to set the stage last month. And so wherever that Aries placement is for each zodiac, which I'll dive into, what I'm seeing is this hybrid partial eclipse that is going to be occurring on the 20th of April, 2023. And I feel it's important, don't make any major decisions if you can. Moon is very emotional. It can be home, family, mother, intuitive energy. And Sun is the identity, the logic, and generally speaking through that, we tend to not have either. So, whereby we can delay making decisions, especially because it's already entering into that shadow phase of Mercury retrograde in the house of Taurus. I think it's really important to, I would say, be optimistic, but be cautious. Really, dot your I's and cross your T's. You could feel that some blessings are coming back to you from the past, but it also can be a time where we're going backwards to go forward simultaneously. But I do see this is a brand new chapter. So I would say by mid-month, try to have your ducks in a row. Try and keep as organised as possible and be aware of those inkling frustrations and tension points where we do have that first eclipse of the year, which is a hybrid. We also are having a full moon in the house of Libra. And I think that's pretty interesting because both the axis of Libra and Aries will be coming about later in the year as the nodes move. And they tend to set the tone of what we have astrologically happening globally. And I did say really at a collective level that feminines do need to be very cautious of how they show up in society, of their safety, their wellness, and being that we're entering April with Mars in the house of Cancer, practice safety, practice self-awareness, try to build people up, try to not pull them down, but very much protect yourself where need be. As we do move into the month of April, we are in the vibration of angel number 4. Separately, we can also look to number 11 for added guidance, as we do have it being the 4th month in 2023, breaking down to an 11. Now, what I see coming through for this is we can have this sense that we are feeling very alone, that we're feeling very isolated. This particularly could be because Mars is in the house of Cancer. And so with our endeavors, with our hopes, with our feelings, we can particularly really feel misunderstood. Now, 11 is a brand new chapter. We can feel a little bit out of our depth, but know everything is very divinely guided. Alignment is key, but it's a brand new chapter. So again, the tedious frequency of the precipice of change can feel like you are a giraffe trying to gain its bearings. Know that you're not alone and that help is coming. You are going to be attracting in brand new situations. And even if you do feel out of your depth, know that universe has your back. It is the precipice of change that does make us feel very tense. Trust the process. We can feel misunderstood with our feelings, our emotions. And again, Mars can bring volatility to those dynamics. So knowing where Mars in Cancer falls in your chart could be pretty key. And also really getting prepared, because we do have an eclipse this month. And so where you're feeling that there is lack, there are also going to be opportunities. And it's really about getting into alignment, seeking out those situations, having that attention in those areas of your life and enhancing them where need be. The burning question on all of our lips may be, is this month going to be any better? Are we ready? Are we prepared? And what is hidden? And I'm going to cover all of that inside of your zodiac. I will give you tips where I feel are necessary inside of any heavy energy that does potentially come through. And separately, you can book a private session or join a YouTube membership. Let's take a look at your zodiac sign and all the various areas that can play out this month for you. Pisces, very interesting 3 years for you. Interesting that I'm saying 3 years. Saturn last month moved into your zodiac sign. And so there can be this maturity that is coming through with you to a different level. You may feel subconsciously initially that you're restricted. Some of you can feel tired through this, but you're going to be really reviewing how you are transforming, how you are maturing so that you can handle other individuals. I definitely see some big transitions, and some of you are looking at maybe sacrifices you're making. It could be subjects to do with your age. Saturn also can bring about situations with teeth and bone. So you may have some transformations happening in your physical image also. Now, we did have Mars sitting in the house of Gemini from August last year. As we entered 2023, it was in its retrograde. It went direct. We were very tired. We only just last month had it shift out of the house of Gemini. So many of us are relieved. And you can find this month from the 11th onwards that you get some value from that location. For you, this could have been around your family and home. You may beautify it. And you also can be very firm and very passionate with love and with children. You definitely can be fertile this month. So FYI, without further ado, don't forget we've got Mercury retrograde and our first eclipse of the year. This is going to be an intense year. Let's take a look at your love domain first. You're definitely going to be attracting people into your life that you feel very safe with. There can be, to a degree, some emotions almost that, physically, a physical relationship is evolving. There can be inheritances, legacies, transformations in their career for those of you that are directly linked to it. Those of you that lost a loved one, you can be deeply reflective of this full moon in Libra, and old emotions can resurface. But I definitely see what you're attracting into your life as somebody that is very mature, somebody that you can build with. We can go into a safety net. And especially, the risk this year for you is perfectionism. It's really looking for that correct fit. And I don't think there ever is a perfect, but I do feel you may be more selective of what you're attracting into your life. I especially feel during Mercury retrograde, blast from the past, in a physical relationship, yes, old situations playing out crosswise, and I do see a lot of communication, but you're really going to have to watch for that crosswire energy. It can be really emotional. It can be very, very loving, but you want the goods. And I think really wait through that Mercury retrograde cycle. And I do feel your confidence can come out very vocally this month in love. Particularly, I do feel look after your wellness, but we'll get onto that further within. but your style of what you're looking for, there could be a feeling of nervousness. Pluto's transiting your 12th house. Your dreams also can come true, and I do feel a lot of you are having the courage to deal with some of your demons so you can be open to the vibration of love. Now, over the next 3 years, your purpose and your direction is really maturing, and you can be taking a very mature approach where it does come to your career. Some of you during this time may want to review, and you can get run down due to Mercury retrograding later on in the month. But I would say that your attention for detail is going to be quite on point. Try to delegate tasks to individuals, especially if you're running your own home-based business and you're employing individuals. Get the heavy lifting done at the beginning of the month. Check your emails. Make sure that you're not overscheduling yourself, and keep an eye on the budget. Now, you can have more earnings and more potentials, and I definitely see a potential of attracting new clientele in. And there also could be a pay rise that is very possible, but I'd really try and get the negotiation done in the first 2 weeks max. After that, there can be a few delays. Like I said, keep organized. It's going to be quite key, and try to not run yourself down this month. Now, in the wellness zone, you could have changes happening to your teeth. You might be building your strength. I also see eating subjects coming up, and confidence. I do see a lot to do with psychology, and be really gentle on yourself. I do feel this is a very personal transition. As above, as below, it's almost like, we're entering into a new chapter for you as a Pisces. And psychology also at times can keep us back. So if there is something emotionally bugging you, don't be too proud to reach out and say, hey, this isn't how life has to be. I can actually sort this out. I don't have to live with this belief system. I don't have to be Rapunzel, and hide in my tower to protect myself. And I do feel over the last 20 years, you may have had issues surrounding friendship groups. There might have been control-related dynamics going on. And I do feel it's really dissipated, especially where it comes to you taking a lead role. If you did want to go up the ladder also in career, I feel that's a potential, even though we're into the wellness. But I definitely feel some health kicks coming through for you guys. You may still have some niggling issues, more so because Jupiter expands things and it's transiting through your second house. So wealth definitely can come towards you, and it can be this notion that you're really driven for that at this point in time. You also can be increasing your net worth with your self-esteem. But the other side of it can be on the more malefic side, is that we overindulge. And so Saturn could be reining that back in for you at a personal level. Jupiter is expanding it out, and that can be through eating and pacifiers. So keep a diary, write down the things that you're feeling. Be in self-awareness, and it's going to be able to counterbalance it. I do feel later, as we do have Jupiter transitioning over to Taurus, again, the same situation can come. So, making sure that you're not going to extremes with pacifiers and caffeine, especially near the eclipse of Mercury retrograde. Practice good hygiene over the next 2 months. That is really going to protect you, and, doing things that is going to boost that immunity, especially over the next 2 months. Now, money also over the last, gosh knows how long, I'd say 20 years. It might have been easy come, easy go. I do feel you're very focused and driven, and I do feel there can be an increase of abundance. April can be a unique one, especially in the domain of repairs, needing to clean shop, maybe paying some debts off. I feel whatever you're clearing out is to make room for the new. So try and trust the process. Leave a little bit back at the end of the month. And keep your resources on hand, especially with weather patterns and things to that degree changing. It could cause a little bit of delays in the infrastructure in society. But again, we'll probably see that more towards, next month, mid-month, some of those delays. We definitely are going to see changes. So making sure that you are actually doing your bookkeeping. I do feel you're going to be more firm on who you're giving money to. There can be a wrapping up of a loan for some of you, be it was something that was given to you or something that was coming to you, especially in a contractual sense. You really want to, get that paperwork done in the first 2 weeks. Otherwise, what you can find is there's delays until we move through to the following month. Now, entering into this month, we are having the full moon in the house of Libra on the 6th of April, 2023. Now, collectively, we can find that we are looking at our wellness. Something can be coming to a head. We can have such in the media. Very separately, what we can find within our own personal zodiacs is key themes relating to wellness, love, abundance, balance, and justice. I do feel, as we do look at this at a collective level, I do feel we are going to be really reworking what we can do to keep ourselves grounded, keep ourselves healthy, and to find the most stable way to have a brand new beginning without being codependent. Due to the fact the next moon is going to be a hybrid eclipse, which I'll get into in a moment. Let's take a look at how this links to your zodiac sign and what I see coming up for you with the full moon in Libra on the 6th of April, 2023. Now, I do see money coming from either income. I do see a change in financial status. This can also be some wins. It could be an inheritance or a legacy. And I also see you building a savings plan. Now, if you are in a physical relationship, there can be something going on their side of the fence that comes to a close, and it can be a new chapter, a new beginning. This can be them transitioning career. It also can be their wealth changing in some shape or form, but you also could pay a debt off and get things back on track. I do feel it's very important from an emotional point of view for feminines to make sure that their wellness is fine. So any checkups that you need doing, doing the right thing, following it through. Later in the month, as we have Mercury retrograde, there can be some sense of delays with information crosswise. So, getting your ducks in a row right now is really going to set you up for the rest of the transit. This can be an emotional time. Remember back to the numbers that are coming through for this month is about where we feel disconnected. It may be in love. It could be we didn't have people to depend on in the past. And I really feel what you're building at this point in your life, Pisces, is dependable individuals. So, give and take in connections, give and take in contracts. Not necessarily in the past was that possible, but at this point in time where your life is, it's really setting the tone for having the confidence to be disliked, not being nasty, but really saying, okay, what can I do within my life, but also, who is willing to work with me, and not personalizing such. But it can be an emotional time. Great time to do detoxes, to eat healthy, and to try and remove white noise and be at peace for a couple of days. Where the nodes shift, these subject matters will come up. So use this month to pay attention to the signs. As we do have the nodes shift, this will remain a subject until 2025, in and out with our eclipse cycle. Now, the very first eclipse of the year has come in two sets. The moon is deemed as a black moon, is because we had two new moons in one set, being Aries. Now, this is the first eclipse of the year, being a hybrid partial solar eclipse in Aries on the 20th of April, 2023. Now, it's also at the critical degrees, and being a new moon, I do particularly feel this can be something quite radically changing very quickly, especially because this is your first house of self. This could be a time in which, with Mercury retrograde, don't do anything drastic when it does come to your hair, your makeup, plastic surgery. I would pause. Now, Mars wants to go in where, it wants to move forward. It's in a hurry. This would be the time where benefits from the past can come. People can appreciate you. You have large revelations to do with yourself. Also, where you're living, feeling, sensing, intuition can come up. But I would say don't rush. I do particularly feel, because we do have situations retrograding at this point, and this is eclipse, as much as possible, we may find that there's more information coming to us, and this can really aid us through having that brand new direction and confidence for the future. I do particularly feel for you at a personal level, this could be anything to the degree of gaining confidence, having clarity, making a conscious choice of a brand new way that you're going to be, you know, defying the odds, so to speak, not putting up with rubbish. This also could be image changes, quite radically so. And I do particularly feel you could be putting your foot down and saying, I know what I want and I've life and I'm going to go and get it. Status also can come into this. So you could go to rags to riches, riches to fame. Again, I would take time with that. This also can be engagements and personal changes that you physically go through your own personal status. But I do feel it can be greatly healing and confidence can resurface yet again. Don't be surprised if you do go down the rabbit hole of emotions during it. But it is really going to set the stage. And once we unpack and digest what that is, you may very well find that as we proceed through the next 6 months, into 2025, really, because the nodes will be shifting by such that that new tone for your life, both with your marriages, contracts, partnerships, and yourself, you versus other people, is going to look extremely different. Get ready for that 180, baby. Now, being that it is a black moon, usually 2 sets, we had a moon in Aries last month, and we're having the hybrid partial solar eclipse in Aries on the 20th of April 2023. Being that it is a new moon, it is a new beginning. We can feel out of our depth, especially because Chiron in Aries is here, Jupiter in Aries is there. It can make us feel anxious, and Mercury retrograde. Wow. Okay. Talk about a brand new beginning and not knowing if we're going forward or backward. I think maybe the benefit will be is that we can review. This can be review our confidence, review our values, review our resources, maybe changes in society relating to technology. The other thing I can say is Pluto is making a square to the eclipse. So squares are challenges. It's like, okay, in order to do that, I need to do this, but it's challenging. It's things that need integrating further, hurdles that we have to jump over. And I think emotionally there can be difficulty, and for you it's transiting over your 12th house at this point in time, and so it can be emotional. It can be, oh my gosh, keeping on the right side of the law, doing things the correct way, not getting scared about the future. Anxiousness can be there. Give it a couple of days before making any rash decisions. Be gentle with yourself. A, we can see things happening in the world. B, it's personal. It's first house. It's what power you have within your finances, your wealth, your assets, your confidence, your ability, your eating, how to articulate things to people and explain how a situation made you feel. But I do feel where it does come to your wealth, I do feel it's increasing. You're going to find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, baby. Now, Mars entered Cancer, and we were so happy. But again, I think we were relieved at the fact that we had a transit of Mars sitting in a house for so long. Generally, it's about 1.5, 2 months. We had Mars sitting in Gemini from August last year. It only transitioned last month. So entering into April, we're in the mix of that. Mars is our vitality. It's our obsession. It's our drive. It can be both positive and negative. It's in a house that is deemed as in its detriment. So we're having to find a way to navigate that. And I can say Cancer is very intuitive, emotional. Mars is let's just get in and do it. And I feel you need to find a combination of both. And again, I do go back to the numbers that this month links to, which is 4 and 11. And it's where we feel there's something missing. There's integration required. We could be potentially out of our depth with certain things, but it's assured that we will find that solution. So really looking at that vibration within Mars and the House of Cancer, linking to your 5th house, which is, wanting to go and do something fun, but maybe not feeling so flash, wanting to see your family, but maybe not seeing eye to eye, having confidence, but being assertive, have fine line. But even in romance, it's like wanting the passion back, but maybe not feeling so great, feeling up and down. So with children, with romance, with your social endeavors, there's a drive for it, but you want to nurture it. You want to be respected for it. You could feel tense. Is it going to be okay? So just have that self-awareness inside it. It can also mean that you're very fertile. You can be very attractive. You can be very flirtatious. And don't take offense to things, because more than likely through this Mars transit, we can take offense accidentally. Now, from the 3rd, we have Mercury entering the house of Taurus. We also have Venus in the house of Taurus until the 11th. So subjects around your wealth, contracts, you could be spending a little bit more during this time. You may be more overindulgent during this time. And there can be a lot of negotiations, a lot of working hard to make money, looking at bookkeeping, doing paperwork, thinking about the monetary and the value attribute of things, but it could be quite social also. As Venus enters Gemini on the 11th, this subject matter can take a different turn, and it can be that you're trying to get your house in order. It can be that you're socializing with your family and your friends, and there can be a lot of communication. And again, I do really see this month to be very busy, but I would try and keep mid-month onwards quite fluid with your schedule. We'll talk about the retrograde now and what I see. So Mercury in Taurus is retrograde as of the 21st. Again, the eclipse in Aries, it can be messy, okay? Give it a couple of days to ease into. Keep your schedule fluid. Crosswise can occur. Misunderstandings. Drive carefully, okay? I really want you guys with the 3rd house of Mercury retrograding in Taurus to drive carefully. You can have some bugbears with cars. It can be glitches with your own personal technology, missing emails, double check your bank statements, your logins, and confusion, definite confusion. So just take your time, focus on one task at a time, even though Mercury probably won't let that happen. We also could have delays with wages coming in, changes with banking systems at a collective level, weather patterns. So really paying attention to that and being prepared, but also not overcommitting yourself. We can do the clearing and the cleaning up the following month, but yet again, we have another eclipse waiting for us. And this is usually the way. We have eclipses in 2 sets. We have 2 themes going on at the moment. One with the axis of Libra and Aries, one with the axis of Taurus and Scorpio. And so I find it really interesting that this wrap-up cycle between Taurus and Scorpio is really coming through this month, and that's through Mercury retrograding in the house of Taurus. Anyway, be patient. Change your logins, double check your bank statements, know that things may not go according to plan. Do not buy vehicles during Mercury retrograde. Sell, maybe, don't buy. Let's take a look at some of the psychic messages I have for your zodiac sign, and then if you do wish to get the extension, you can go through to our YouTube membership or read the information below for the Psychic Tarot extension. Without further ado, let's take a look at your psychic update and what I see coming through for you. Okay, a few messages for you before we jump into the Members Hub and give your Psychic Tarot messages. If you do wish to join us, you can. What I'm seeing for you is hold on to your hats. I do feel it's going to be very busy. I do feel there can be crosswise and misunderstandings. I don't know why I get panic and anxiousness. How you particularly see something, I feel you're wanting it to look a particular way. And I do feel where it does come to problems for you this month. My guides are showing me to step back from a painting. Pause, step back, look. Because you're going to be able to find a solution, but it may be by slowing down. Don't overcommit yourself, okay? And don't get your knickers in a twist where it does come to delays. It isn't personal. It could be. Let's not say that. It could be. But you could personalize something where it's a little bit like they say you can't get blood out of a stone. It's like if there is a situation, and this could be a little bit of personal advice, and take it if you will. It's like looking at a physical situation and going, oh my gosh, it so needs to be X, Y, and Z. Yet you know that maybe the resources or maybe a situational ship and it is what it is. Yet you're not happy with it. And so acknowledge the unhappy, acknowledge the goal, and sit with it if it's unsolvable at this point in time and let go. And universe usually does solve it for you. It's like synchronistically when we move into detachment, magically, it's like the waters part. So try to do that. I also would be careful because I do feel be cautious with who you tell things to, but also listen, okay? My guides are showing me for you to listen because you're going to be given some information that is going to be so lucrative for you. I really feel that. You're also going to have to look at something for what it is. And that can be hard because and look, the beautiful thing at the moment is you are going to be able to make your dreams come true, right? And that's between now and 2025. So we need a combination of both realism and action. So universe is going to give us the PDF of how to do that and how to achieve those things. And it may require maturity, dedication, structure, hard work, commitment, assertive energy. And I do feel you guys are going to do really great, better than you think. When we do step back from enabling individuals, what we do tend to find is we grow. It's a little bit like the analogy of, the air hostess looking at you, there's turbulence, the plane's going down. And she says to you, okay, the first thing we need you to do, don't freak out. Good luck with that. Put your mask on, then you can go help other people. And so that's really the notion in life, especially stepping back, prioritizing your goals, committing to those goals, and knowing that you're not alone. And it's almost like we're leading by example, but you're attracting people. And I do feel people from the past coming back. And I do feel there's some people that you're really missing. And psychically, I'm seeing they're trying to send you an SOS, but you need to listen. You need to be present. And some of your vibration has just been a little bit up and down, and you're not hearing it. So they're saying, step back, listen, we're trying to give you a message. We love you. It's going to be okay. Love and light. I will get into the psychic tarot forecast for your zodiac. Should you wish to join us, the information is directly below. I hope to see you through on the other side in our YouTube membership for your psychic tarot extension. Come through and take a look what I see coming through for you. I hope to see you through on the other side in our YouTube membership.